Hey, Ali Duzette here, and today is day 3 of the Eclipse portal of April 2023. This is a 2-week period where everyone in the world has their energy field shaken up. We're all receiving divine uploads and downloads, and it's going to shake us all up. And this is me just trying to help us all through it. Now, you are actually an expert at living through eclipse portals. You've done it many times before, but you just didn't know you were doing it. And having someone around to kind of guide you through the process makes it just that much easier and more effective for you. This is just a really quick story here. I'll pause and I'll stop the share and start my video for just a little second, but even though the lighting's bad, I'm in my pajamas. But a really quick story is that before I got into astrology, I had this situation where I was renting out my basement to some friends from the internet. Anyways, it was like such a long story. But we ended up having some conflicts, and it really came to a culmination at, just one day it culminated. It became this huge fight. It was a disaster. It was just probably one of the worst nights of my whole life. And of course, they lived in my basement. And then the next day they were looking for somewhere else. We shared the same kitchen, and it was just a terrible mess. And anyway, but it was an eclipse. And I just remember being like, what are the odds that my entire life would fall apart during an eclipse? Oh, that's weird. And now I'm like, it makes 1,000% sense. And I just didn't know it back then. But that's exactly how it is. If you had a calendar and you could see all of your life timeline events and a list of all the eclipses, you would see for yourself that many of your major life events have happened during an eclipse portal, or literally at the same time as an eclipse. It just is how it is. That's how it is for humans. So you have already experienced this, and in a way, you're already a master of this. And this is just this is just me helping you be more conscious through this, so that you're not like me 10 years ago being like, oh, wow, what are the odds? You know the odds. The odds are 100% that you are going to have some big transformational experiences during this eclipse portal. So this eclipse is transitioning us between Scorpio and Taurus energy and Libra and Aries energy. What this means is, for the past 18 months, we've been focused on security, issues of security at any cost, and hidden agendas, the issue of hidden agendas taking form. And we've been dealing with this for the past 2 years. And now we're shifting into a new energy of every man for himself. So what this has looked like for the past 2 years, we have seen it how, issues of security, we've had big, and Taurus and Scorpio deal with money and the creation of money, other people's money. We've been seeing a lot of concern around the end of the petrodollar and things like the Ukraine situation, talk about hidden agendas taking form, security of nations and borders and stuff like that. And of course, we're always concerned about that all the time, but I have some more examples of what this looks like astrologically over time. The point is that starting in these next couple of weeks, we're shifting into a primary energy of every man for himself. So what's happening is the moon nodes are shifting into Libra and Aries. And Libra is all about relationships and marriage, alliances. Aries is all about the self. It's me first, which is not a bad thing. You need a healthy relationship. You need to have a healthy relationship with yourself. So this Libra Aries axis is all about finding balance between healthy relationships and healthy prioritization of the self. So this is the nodal axis that we're moving into in July. This is the first eclipse portal that is using this energy in this season. For the next 18 months, all eclipses are going to be along this axis of Libra and Aries, and we are all going to feel the energy of that. So we're going to just kind of have to pay attention to what we notice. So this is what I was talking about earlier. Past nodal paths. Okay, we had Capricorn and to Cancer, the nodal path, called everyone from work to home. Capricorn governs the workplace, Cancer governs your home, and it culminated in March of 2020 when everyone was told, stay home from work. What a perfect example of going from Capricorn to Cancer. Now, the next node was from Sagittarius to Gemini, the next nodal path. And this Sagittarius deals with experts, and Gemini deals with what you can see with your own eyes. Like Sagittarius is like the college professor, and Gemini is like the kindergarten teacher. Sagittarius says H2O has 2 hydrogens and 1 oxygen. And Gemini says H2O is water, and the important thing is that you drink enough of it and that it's clean. So we had this big focus from 2020 to 2021. Who do we trust? The experts or what we see with our own eyes, right? And so that was a big theme as we were working through COVID and coming out of COVID. And we transitioned straight from that to Scorpio Taurus, which dealt with money issues and especially hidden agendas coming to light, hidden agendas taking form. Again, that issue of security at all costs. And I think we saw that very clearly with Ukraine stuff, and a lot of hidden agendas have come to light. I think a lot more people than before are more aware of the kinds of things that the powers that be are up to, that may not be in our best interest every moment. And now we are heading into Libra to Aries. So this is going to have everyone in the whole planet shifting away from making extreme concessions for other people's feelings and moving towards standing in our own truth. And so as I am talking about that, I just really see how this may come into play from every perspective. I'm thinking of, people, especially with, there's been a lot of like identity politics, identity obsession lately, and it ends up being very polarizing. And you get the people that feel like they are making extreme concessions with their own identity, in relation to like very religious people. And then you get like, maybe religious people feeling like they have to make all sorts of concessions for people that are doing things that they disagree with. And it's not just about religion, and it's not just about politics, but like there are just, from every perspective, I hope that we can all see that from every perspective, there's a lot going on that has been calling a lot of people to make extreme concessions for other people's feelings. And I think we're going to be moving away from that. And there's going to be a lot more of, I don't care what you feel like. This is what I think is true. And I don't care what you think about that. And I think there's a time and place for that, of course. And we're going to figure out that time and place real soon as we enter this nodal path. But it is going to lead to probably more conflicts instead of less, because as a whole, people in the whole planet are going to be less likely to work really hard to maintain a relationship and more likely to prioritize what they've got going on in their own mind and heart and soul. So the Libra Aries axis, especially when it is leading to a north node in Aries, is an axis of boundaries. The question is, where do you draw the line? Where do you draw the lines in your life? And so we're going to be working on this a lot throughout this eclipse portal, issues of boundaries. And there are a lot of boundaries to be drawn in our lives in a lot of different ways. So we're going to be exploring that in the next couple of days. These are some journaling prompts for today. You can pause this screen and journal on these prompts today. Where have I been bending over backwards for others inappropriately? Where do I need to stand up for myself in my life? What emotions come up when I tell myself that it could be safe to express my own needs and boundaries? So before I move on, I want to mention that I got a great comment in my Facebook group from someone who said that she had opened up her home to some family members that are really struggling. And now she has taken over a lot of the caring roles for different family members. And it feels like it's sucking her dry, and that she has no more boundaries. She doesn't have boundaries over her space. She doesn't have boundaries over her time. She doesn't have space to herself. She doesn't have time to herself. When you don't have space and time to yourself, it can feel like you don't have your body to yourself. Like if you have to use your body to be spending your time doing things for other people, maybe that you don't want to do, that can be really hard. And so I just wanted to acknowledge that and say, we're going to be working on this as we go through the next 2 weeks on energies around this. I have some strong feelings about this because I personally bent over backwards for many years for my own disabled brother who died when I was 25. I was a primary caregiver for him for many years, especially during his last 5 years. And I did bend over backwards for him, and I felt like I had to do that. And it was painful, and I felt like I didn't have my own space and I didn't have my own life. And it was awful, and I would do it again. I would do that again. And I think in the healing space, there can be such a focus on boundaries that we forget that sometimes it is appropriate to bend over backwards for people. Like sometimes it is the right thing to do to shelve your life for a minute and take care of your dying brother. And sometimes that is the right thing. And even if it is hard, and even if we have to, make some sacrifices that are exactly that, they are sacrifices, and sometimes awful sacrifices and physically painful ones. But I'm not qualified to tell you what is appropriate for you in your life. You are the only one that's qualified, and I would say God. And so as you journal on this, I would say to pray about these things and be prayerful about it. If you are in a situation where you are sacrificing for other people and you feel like you are bending over backwards for them and not receiving anything in return, or that you are feeling like, I don't know, like it's just like it's killing you. That's how I felt taking care of my brother. I felt like it was actually killing me, but I would do it again. Who else would do it? I was going to do it. And I don't know, but I also know that God can send solutions that we can't see. And this is the perfect 2-week window to discover those solutions. You may be very surprised at what God has waiting in the wings for you if you are open to those miracles. So I would say to ask God, are the sacrifices that I'm making for my family, like, that are hurting me? Is this really what you want for me, or is there a better way? Are there other solutions that are waiting in the wings for me? How can I be open for those? How can I welcome those into my life? These are the questions that I want you to be asking today. Looking back at my life with my brother, I wonder, these are questions I didn't ask. And so I do have to sit there and wonder, maybe would I have suffered less if I had been more open to miracles, if I had been asking more diligently for interventions? Because I didn't. I truly believed that no one else would help, that no one else would do the things that I felt I needed to do. And maybe that wasn't true. And maybe that is not true for you either. Maybe there is an answer for you that you are not seeing, and maybe more people would help than you think. And maybe, I don't know, you just never know what miraculous thing is around the corner. So I just wanted to open your mind to that today. Let's go ahead and tap. Take out your fingers and tap on your forehead or collarbone and say with me, I am open to divine direction and information on boundaries today. It could be safe to start thinking about new boundaries in my life. It can be safe to offend others when I am standing in my truth. I am not responsible for how other people respond to my boundaries. Go ahead and put your hands on your heart and breathe it in. I know that those were hard tapping scripts. We don't want to offend other people. It feels weird to say I'm not responsible for how other people respond to my boundaries, right? Because we want people to like us. We want things to be positive and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you can't control how other people respond to you. You can't control how other people will react to you. And if you can't control it, is it your responsibility? Can you really be held responsible for something that you cannot control? Your job is to make sure that you are living in alignment with God every single day, that you are living in alignment with the divine every single day, that every day you wake up and you say, okay, how am I going to be in tune with the divine today? And you follow the Holy Spirit, you follow your intuition, you follow the messages from your body, and do what is right, whatever that is. And it's not your job to make sure that other people are happy about it. you know? Which is not to say that you have a job to go be offending people. It's not to say that you don't have a responsibility to be tactful and kind. I think you do. I think I do. I think it is the best to be tactful and kind. But also, if you're tactful and kind and somebody still takes offense, it's okay. That is okay. So thank you so much for being here. Come hang out with me again tomorrow. Now, and on Facebook, of course, at Intuitive Healing with Ali Duzette. That's my Facebook group. I will love to hang out with you in there. We have over 5,000 members, and every single one of the people in there is incredible. And so come join us. You're going to love it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Now, this is a picture of my book on boundaries, and it's totally optional, but I think it will be extremely helpful for you with this Eclipse portal. So you can head on over to Amazon and pick up a copy of that if you want to, just as like an optional thing. But either way, thank you so much for being here. And I am just so grateful that you're spending this time to heal yourself. You healing yourself blesses everyone around you. So thank you so much. You are saving the world in this moment. So have a great day.